Hey, this is Glenn. Welcome to another episode of Difficult Questions. This one, is the U.S. a peaceful or violent country? This is on the back of the Charlie Kirk assassination. I read a tweet from former President Obama, and he had called it despicable violence, which struck me because we shoot a lot of people using our military out of our country. And I just thought, well, he must think then that offshore it's necessary violence, but onshore to each other it's despicable. And then I just thought, well, what's the difference? And are we aspiring to be peaceful and not really being peaceful? Because this isn't new. We've been shooting people all the time. Being political assassinations, gang violence, domestic violence, hitting people with our cars. You know, I think that life is important until it's not. And people don't like to hear that. The greater problem that we're shooting people for public speech, that's hard, because once you start accepting that, well, then that whole freedom of speech thing becomes very tricky because everyone's worried about getting shot. So I think there is legitimate concern. But this whole idea that we are a peaceful country started me thinking, why do we think we are a peaceful country? Because we have laws? I mean, even our laws are based on lawyers fighting with animus, who's better at arguing, and whoever is better wins. It's not working together. It's the recognition that one group of people has a desire and the other group of people has a different desire, and they're going to battle it out in court. And usually whoever has the most money for the best lawyer, who has the best argument, wins. And even though that's not physical violence, it's still not working together. Though our whole system is built, I think, really on this love of the Wild West. I'm going to will it into existence. I'm going to make it happen. And it's an aspiration to not have physical violence backing that aspiration up and instead using your words. But as we see, people use their words to get people stirred, to get their emotions stirred. And then some people can't handle their emotions and they end up using violence. I know early on there was a criticism from Europe about how Americans are obsessed with violence and obsessed with not exposing people to sexuality. And Europe is stereotypically the other way around, not so much into Westerns and action thrillers and killing people on screen and boxing matches and smashing things around a car track or whatever it may be. You know, all that violent stuff that the U.S. is really touted as propping up. And they're more openly sexual, yet we're on the other side. We are very Puritan about our sexuality, but violence is good. And I just think people will justify whatever violence they like. We like football, giant men smashing into each other. We like watching that. But some people will say that mixed martial arts is too violent because it's just fighting. And I said, well, I'm thinking, well, what's the difference? because there's a ball in football that makes it the violence okay. I mean, people justify the strangest things. So I don't think we are peaceful. I think we are a very violent country, and we have worked hard to put that violence into argumentation and laws supporting social agreements. But we're still the same violent people. We still are angry. Capitalism in this country is just about what you can get. It's not about working with your neighbor. It's, I'm getting this and I'm doing this. It's very aggressive. And so it's easy to take that aggression and carry that to physical violence. We see people freaking out in Walmart and CVS and all the time, right? We just, other countries make jokes about how violent we are. So when I hear Obama talk about this despicable violence, I just think, why are we fooling? We're fooling ourselves, right? We've got to be just fooling ourselves. I think the peace is aspirational, but at the same time, I think that human nature is violent. I mean, think about how countries are formed and countries are changed, and think about how the United States was formed and how many Native Americans we killed to take the land, and that's not alone. Think about colonization. How many native peoples have Europeans completely demolished over time? I think we're a violent people. Violence is violence. And to think that we're not is kind of ridiculous. But on the other side, if we have peace, what does peace look like? I was listening to some people talk about what the wishes are of leadership after the 1960s and all of that political tumult. How can we placate the masses so they're happy in their place? We can't have these people rise up and want more than what they have, because that creates the opposite of peace. And the leadership doesn't want violence. They want peace. They want you to just go along. But we also want to be an educated people. And this person I was listening to was saying that education is what made people think, oh, they could want more. And so he was saying that people are dumbing down education, because if people just expect what they have, they won't want and expect more, and they will just stay in their lane and be peaceful. I say the line from Fight Club, peaceful as Hindu cows. I was listening to another guy that was saying, inside the US, we need to be watching out for the disenfranchised, very intelligent white person who is unemployed or underemployed, because they have a propensity for anger, they have a capability of using weapons, and they do so. So I guess that's the new modern terrorist, right? Instead of the separatist like Anthony McVeigh in the 90s, or instead of the brown terrorist out of 2001, we now have the domestic, intelligent, underemployed person that thinks they should have more, or they're frustrated at their position. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Is the U.S. a violent place, or is it a peaceful place? Is peace just an aspiration that we have, a dream to always work towards, as bodies are falling left and right, as they always do and have, just in different places? I don't know. Thanks.